My husband was living a double life for 18 months, and everyone knew except me. I thought I knew my husband of 12 years. I thought our marriage was solid, unbreakable. But 3 weeks ago, I found something that shattered my world completely. Everyone around me already knew. My best friend, my sister, even my own mother. They all knew my husband was living a double life, and they chose to keep me in the dark. You know what hurts the most? It wasn't just the betrayal. It was realizing that the person sleeping next to me every night was a complete stranger. But wait until you hear what I discovered next, because this story gets so much worse. My name is Sarah, I'm 34, and I live in suburban Dallas with my husband Mark. We met in college, got married young, and built what I thought was the perfect American dream. 2 kids, Emma, 8, and Jake, 6. A beautiful house with a white picket fence. Mark had a successful career in finance. I worked part-time as a graphic designer. From the outside, we looked like the perfect family. Weekend barbecues, Disney vacations, PTA meetings, soccer practice. Mark was the devoted father, the loving husband who brought me flowers every Friday. But perfect facades usually hide the ugliest truths. Looking back now, there were signs. Late nights at the office that became more frequent. Weekend business trips that seemed unnecessary. The way he guarded his phone like it contained nuclear codes. But I trusted him. I believed every single lie. It started 3 months ago. Mark came home with new cologne, Tom Ford, $300 a bottle. When I asked about it, he said a colleague recommended it. Said he wanted to upgrade his image at work. Then there were the gym sessions. Suddenly, my husband, who hadn't exercised in years, was hitting the gym every morning at 5 a.m. He bought new workout clothes, protein shakes, even hired a personal trainer. In 2 months, he lost 25 pounds and looked better than he had in our entire marriage. I should have been happy, right? Instead, I felt this gnawing anxiety in my stomach. Something felt off, but I couldn't put my finger on it. The phone calls started around this time. Work emergencies that required him to step outside, sometimes for an hour. When I'd ask what the emergency was, he'd get defensive. You wouldn't understand, Sarah. It's complicated business stuff. But here's what really made my skin crawl. He started paying attention to me differently. More flowers, surprise dinners, weekend getaways. It felt like he was overcompensating for something. Do you know that feeling when someone is being too nice to you? Have you ever felt that uncomfortable sensation when something just doesn't feel right, even though everything looks perfect? That's exactly how I felt. But you know what? I ignored it. I pushed down that uncomfortable feeling because I wanted to believe in my marriage. The explosion happened on a Tuesday evening in October. Mark said he had to work late again, the 3rd time that week. But something inside me snapped. I decided to surprise him at his office with dinner. I packed his favorite meal, homemade lasagna, garlic bread, the works. Dressed up nice, put on makeup, even wore that perfume he used to love. I was going to be the supportive, loving wife. When I got to his office building, the security guard looked confused. "Ma'am, most folks left hours ago. Building's pretty empty." My heart started racing, but I insisted on going up. The hallway was dark. His office was empty. Not just empty, it looked like he'd left at normal time. No papers scattered around. No evidence of someone working late. Just a clean desk and a computer in sleep mode. I called him immediately. It rang 4 times before he answered. and I could hear music in the background. Not office music. Restaurant music, romantic jazz playing softly. The kind they play at intimate dinner spots. "Sarah, what's wrong? Is everything okay with the kids?" His voice was panicked, guilty. "I'm at your office, Mark. Where are you?" The silence felt like an eternity. Then, "Oh shit. Oh no. Did I say office? I meant I'm at a client dinner. Downtown, big potential account." But I could hear a woman laughing in the background. Not just any woman. A laugh I recognized, but couldn't place. That moment, all my suspicions crystallized into cold certainty. "Mark, who is that laughing?" "What laughing?" "Sarah, you're being paranoid." "Look, I'll be home late. Don't wait up." He hung up on me. My husband of 12 years hung up on me while I stood in his empty office, holding homemade lasagna like a complete fool. The next morning, Mark was different, jumpy, avoiding eye contact, extra affectionate with the kids like he was overcompensating. He left for work early, claiming he had an important meeting. I made a decision that changed everything. I was going to find out the truth, no matter how much it hurt. I started with his laptop. Mark wasn't tech-savvy enough to really hide anything. It took me less than 10 minutes to find his second email account. And what I found there, God, I wish I could unsee it. Hundreds of emails, hotel reservations, restaurant confirmations, and pictures. So many pictures of my husband with another woman, but not just any woman. That woman was my sister's best friend, Jessica. Jessica, who had been to our house for every birthday party, every holiday gathering, every family barbecue for the past 5 years. Jessica, who I had confided in about my marriage troubles. Jessica, who had given me advice on how to spice things up with Mark. The emails went back 18 months. 18 months of "I love you," and "I can't wait to leave her," and "soon we'll be together forever." There were detailed plans about how they were going to slowly extract Mark from our marriage. How they were going to make me look like the crazy, paranoid wife. But here's the part that nearly killed me. In one email, Jessica wrote, "I feel bad for Sarah sometimes. She's so clueless. Yesterday, she was asking me for marriage advice because she thought you two were growing distant. I actually felt guilty giving her tips on how to save her marriage while I'm sleeping with her husband." Mark had replied, "Don't feel guilty. She'll be fine. She's stronger than she looks. Besides, you and I deserve to be happy." I threw up. Right there at his desk, I threw up all over his keyboard. But wait, you think that's the worst part? Oh no, we're just getting started. As I kept reading, I discovered they had been planning this for months. They were going to wait until after the holidays. Then Mark was going to file for divorce. He had already been hiding money in a separate account. He had consulted with a lawyer about custody arrangements. He had been planning to take my children away from me. I printed everything, every email, every picture, every receipt. I sat in my kitchen with a stack of evidence 2 inches thick, and I felt something I had never felt before. Pure, undiluted rage. How dare they? How dare they plan to destroy my family while pretending to care about me? When Mark came home that night, I was ready. I had sent the kids to my mom's house. I had poured myself wine and held it as I waited for him. And I had laid out every single piece of evidence on our dining room table like a presentation. "Sarah, why are the kids at your mom's? Is everything..." He stopped mid-sentence when he saw the table. His face went white. Not pale, not shocked, white as paper. "Sit down, Mark." "Sarah, I can explain." "Sit down." For the next hour, I laid out everything I knew. Every lie, every deception, every cruel plan they had made behind my back. Mark tried to interrupt maybe 3 times, but the evidence was overwhelming. You know what he said when I finished? "You want to know what 18 months of lies and deception came down to? Sarah, I'm sorry you had to find out this way. Not, I'm sorry I cheated. Not, I'm sorry I betrayed you. I'm sorry I found out. That's when I lost it. Completely lost it. I threw that wine glass at the wall behind his head, and it shattered into 1,000 pieces. Just like our marriage. Just like my heart. Get out," I screamed. "Get out of my house right now. Sarah, please, let's talk about this rationally." "Rationally? You want to talk about this rationally? You've been planning to destroy our family for 18 months, and you want to be rational?" I was shaking, crying, screaming all at the same time. 12 years of trust. 12 years of love. 12 years of building a life together. Gone. Just gone. Then something strange happened. After all that screaming, after all that rage, I just stopped. I stood there in complete silence, surrounded by broken glass and broken dreams, and I felt nothing. Absolutely nothing. Mark packed a bag that night and left, but not before saying, "You know, Sarah, maybe if you had been a better wife, I wouldn't have had to look elsewhere." That was 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks since my entire world collapsed. The divorce papers were filed within days. Mark didn't even try to work on our marriage. He moved in with Jessica immediately. Turns out they had already found an apartment together months ago. My kids are confused and heartbroken. Emma keeps asking when Daddy is coming home, and I don't know what to tell her. Jake has started wetting the bed again, something he hadn't done since he was 3. But here's what really gets me. My sister knew. My own sister knew her best friend was sleeping with my husband, and she never said a word. When I confronted her, she said she didn't want to get involved in drama. Drama? Drama? This isn't reality TV. This is my life. The worst part is dealing with the kids' school events, soccer games, places where we used to go as a family. Last week, I saw Mark and Jessica at Emma's school play, sitting together, holding hands. Jessica was wearing my husband's jacket, the same jacket I bought him for Christmas 2 years ago. I wanted to scream. I wanted to make a scene. Instead, I sat alone in the back row and watched my daughter perform while my replacement sat in my spot. So here I am, starting over at 34, single mom, broken heart, trust issues that will probably last forever. But you know what? I'm still standing. My kids and I are building a new life, and maybe it'll be better than the lie we were living before. But I have to ask you something, and I really want your honest opinion in the comments. Was this my fault? Did I miss too many signs? Should I have been a better wife? Was I naive to trust my husband so completely? And here's the bigger question. Would you want to know if your spouse was cheating, even if it meant destroying your family? Or would you rather live in blissful ignorance? Because I look at the evidence every day, and part of me wishes I had never found out. Part of me wishes I was still making dinner for a man who loved someone else. Is ignorance truly bliss? Or is the truth, no matter how painful, always better? What would you have done in my situation? Would you have confronted them immediately? Would you have tried to fight for your marriage? Let me know in the comments. Tell me what you think. Because right now, I honestly don't know if I made the right choices. And if you're watching this and something feels off in your own relationship, trust that instinct. Don't be like me. Don't ignore the signs until it's too late. Because the person sleeping next to you every night might be a complete stranger. And that's a truth I wouldn't wish on anyone. What would you do if you were in my shoes? Tell me in the comments below.